What's up, Enchanted community, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, as you will see in the thumbnail and title of today's video, we'll be having a look at my Universal Studios collection. Fun fact, this is my favorite studio. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're going to start off with the VHSs. We've got E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Here's the back. Here's the tape. Print date. No print date. And we've got Jurassic Park. Here's the back. Here's the tape. Print date. No print date. Now we're going to move on to the DVDs. We've got The Birds. Here's the back. Here's the disc. A non-cover DVD case with 2 discs. Here's the back. Here's Jaws. And E.T. the Extraterrestrial. 3-film box set of the Land Before Time trilogy with the slipcover. Here's the back. Here's Land Before Time. The Great Valley Adventure. And the Time of the Great Giving. The Land Before Time double feature, 2 mysteries beyond the Great Valley. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Highlander. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Always. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Terminator 2 Judgment Day 2-disc Ultimate Edition. Here's the back. Here's disc 1 and disc 2. Now moving on to the Jurassic Park series, we've got Jurassic Park. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Jurassic Park Ultimate Trilogy. Here's the back. Here's Jurassic Park, The Lost World Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic World. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Jurassic World Ultimate Collection 6-movie collection box set. Here's the back. Here we got Jurassic Park Trilogy. Here's the back. Here's Jurassic Park, The Lost World Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park 3. And we got Jurassic World Trilogy. Here's the back. Here's Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World Dominion. Waterworld. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Babe. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Babe, Pig in the City. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Lock, Stock, and 2 Smoking Barrels. Here's the back. Here's the disc. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Pitch Black. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Now moving on to the Fast and Furious collection, we've got the Fast and the Furious. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Too Fast, Too Furious. Here's the back. Here's the disc. The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Fast and Furious. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Fast and Furious 5. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Fast and Furious 6. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Fast and Furious 7. Here's the back. Here's the disc. The Fate of the Furious. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Fast and Furious 9, The Fast Saga. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Fast and Furious 10. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Elizabeth. Here's the back. Here's the disc. The Ring. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Battlestar Galactica. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Thunderbirds. Here's the back. Here's the disc. King Kong. Here's the back. Here's the disc. King Kong Production Diaries 2 Disc Collector's Edition. Here's the back. Here's disc 1 and disc 2. The Constant Gardener. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Kids 3 DVD pack including the Problem Child trilogy. Here's the back. Here's Problem Child, Problem Child 2, and Problem Child 3. Family 5 DVD pack including Uncle Buck, Cutthroat Island, Drop Dead Fred, A Simple Wish, and batteries not included. Here's the back. Here's Uncle Buck, Cutthroat Island, Drop Dead Fred, A Simple Wish, and batteries not included. Step Up Special Edition. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Heroes Season 1. Here's the back. Here's disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, disc 4, disc 5, disc 6, and disc 7. Heroes Season 2. Here's the back. Here we got disc 1, disc 2, disc 3, and disc 4. Wanted. Here's the back. Here's the disc. The Incredible Hulk. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Hellboy the Golden Army 2. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Costume Drama Volume 2 Greatest Ever, including Atonement, Elizabeth the Golden Age, Pride and Prejudice, Shakespeare in Love, and Vanity Fair on Steelbook. Here's the back. We got Elizabeth the Golden Age and Atonement, Pride and Prejudice and Shakespeare in Love, and Vanity Fair. Mamma Mia the Movie. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Back to the Future the Trilogy. Here's the back. Here's Back to the Future Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Death Race. Here's the back. Here's the disc. Bionicle the Legend Reborn. Here's the back. Here's the disc. And to end of this video, we have got Kids Fun Pack, including Beethoven and Beethoven's Second. Here's the back. Here's Beethoven and Beethoven's Second. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. Sorry that this is a bit longer than my other videos. I usually do like 10 minutes or so. But I just have a massive collection of Universal Studio movies. So yeah, I'll post part 2 possibly on Saturday or Sunday. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.